All right, shalom, welcome back to the channel. It's kind of a chilly morning and I've got one of my very warmy scarves. I got this at a Goodwill. It's really fluffy and I've noticed when I do things, I'm doing it from a scientific approach. I am looking at how things are normally and then I try something like this scarf to see if it actually keeps me warm or it's just pretty. And the first time I used it, we were going to sleep and the house was cold, I think because we'd been out all day and we hadn't gotten the fire started, so I put it on and it right now I can feel, it keeps my body warmth in. It doesn't have a little heater in it, but keeping your body warmth in is the key in winter to keeping warm. So it's there. And then on my lap I've got my wool cloak, which I made myself from army blankets, so that's why I'm all bundled up. It's a little chilly. So this is the first in this iteration of your viewer suggested videos. And I'm basically just going from whoever said first and on down. And this is about off-grid do-over. And William H. is the one who suggested this idea. And he said, what sort of things in retrospect would you have done differently? So first of all, let me just say our homestead is perfect. Pastor Joe planned it. We've carried it out. It's perfect. However, if I had the opportunity, and I won't, but you might, these are the things that I would make sure were done before we came to the land. Because when we came down, there had been a planning phase, there had been a discussion phase, but the actual coming here was done in a rushed, very unwise manner in the middle of winter. Just like the Pilgrims did when they left Europe because of their religious persecution. So, first thing, when you plan your move, try to be smart about it. And I would say move in spring or fall when you don't have as many bugs. And you can see what things are ripe or what things are flowering. I wouldn't move in the heat of summer because it's just horrible. Bugs are bad, temperature's bad, etc. So, another thing that I think we did walk our land. Now my suggestion is walk the land and then take a survey of all your assets. So Pastor and I both had walked this land, and the most obvious assets here were the rocks and the trees. And I'd seen the canes, the raspberry and blackberry canes, so I knew those were here. And then since we've been here, I have found all the things that you've heard me mention, grapevines and the passion fruit. But it wasn't till this year that we found the nut trees. And if we had done a survey and walked around and knew how to identify the trees, or did the survey in fall when these nuts have fallen, we would have noticed the walnut sooner. We did know we had hickory though, so we were pretty good about that. But I would walk your whole land and take a survey of all your assets and also your possible problem spots. Another thing I would like to, I will advise you to do is get your water situation squared away right up front. And by that I mean your source of your drinking water, whether it be you have to hook up to the city water or you have a spring or there's already a well there or whatever. Identify that, know that, have that ready. And also look at how the water is on your land, because everybody's different. In Arizona, the only thing you'd have to worry about is if there's flash flooding and you have one of those, canals or whatever they call it, where, when you have a once in a yearly huge rainfall, it floods and, just wipes everything downstream of it. You would see signs of that. You would see that waterway. If you're in Florida and, the land is all one level, do you have swamp? Do you have parts of your land that are going to be wet all year round? And what's that going to mean for you? So that's the kind of thing I'm talking about with the water. Also, if you're going to try rain catchment for your water supply, or a little mill on your stream or whatever, get that set up, because it's important. It's important to you for washing yourself, and it's important for taking care of your animals. Another issue that is going to benefit you a lot is make sure if you're going to have animals, you have their fencing and their shelter either in place already or very easily set up, because it only takes a couple of weeks before predators figure out that you have birds, that you have goats, that you have quail or pheasant or whatever it is, or calves or whatever. And so you need to have a secure place for them. You need to have fencing if they need to be fenced, so they're not trampling on your garden and walking in your house while you're trying to construct it, and those sort of things. And so those are my top suggestions. Of course there's more, but I'm trying to keep these videos to a watchable length. And if you research through some of my past videos, I have lots of suggestions in there too for setting up your off-grid homestead. All right, bless you, shalom, thank you for watching.